Hello students, let us start with the next chapter, 18 chapter, that is wastewater story. In this chapter, we will learn about water, how it is our lifeline. We will learn about what is sewage, water treatment of polluted water, wastewater treatment plants, better housekeeping practices, sanitation and diseases, alternative arrangement for sewage disposal, and sanitation at public places. Now, we all know water is very important to us. Human life cannot exist without water, as most of our body is made up of water. We also need water for different purposes like washing, bathing, mopping, as well as we need it for agricultural and industrial purposes. But once this water gets contaminated after various works like washing, bathing, mopping, then it is called wastewater. So basically, this water which has been used is wastewater. This is not potable, that is, that it is not drinkable. In order to understand and appreciate the importance of water, every year 22nd March is celebrated as World Water Day. Now, let us understand what is sewage. So, sewage is basically a complex mixture containing suspended solids, organic and inorganic impurities, nutrients, saprotrophic and disease causing bacteria, and other microbes. Saprotrophic bacteria are the bacteria which feed on the dead. If we look at the sewage, then it is composed of organic and inorganic impurities, nutrients, bacteria, and microbes are also suspended in it. Organic impurities consist of human feces, animal waste, oil, urea, pesticides, herbicides, fruits, and vegetables. Inorganic impurities consist of nitrates, phosphates, and metals. Nutrients which are mainly present in sewage are phosphorus and nitrogen. Then we will have various types of bacteria like Vibrio cholerae, which will cause diseases like cholera, as well as Salmonella typhi, which will cause typhoid. There can be other microbes also present in sewage, which can cause other diseases like diarrhea and jaundice. So now that we understand about sewage, we should also know the difference between a sewer and sewage. Sewer is basically the pipe which carries wastewater, and sewage is a network of sewer which distributes it everywhere. It is very important that we treat this sewage before we discard it into water bodies. This is important because sewage contains various microorganisms which can be pathogens also. So this can lead to a lot of harm to the humans. So the process of removing these impurities from wastewater before it can be reused or sent to the water bodies is called sewage treatment or cleaning of water. Now let us understand how this sewage treatment works. So the first step is that we have to remove all the grit and the sand. So it goes to the grit and sand removal tank. The speed of the incoming wastewater is decreased so that the grit, sand and pebbles, all of them settle down, and the water which is floating on top goes to the next step. So once this grit, pebbles and all the large impurities have been removed, water is allowed to settle in a large tank which is sloped towards the middle. Solids like feces settle down at the bottom and are removed with a scraper, and this is what is sludge. A skimmer removes the floatable solid like oil and grease. Water so cleared is now called clarified water. This sludge can be used as fertilizer. So now that we have this sludge, it has to be transferred to a separate tank where it has to be decomposed by anaerobic bacteria. Now, anaerobic bacteria are those bacteria which live without oxygen. The biogas produced in the process can be used as a fuel or can be used to produce electricity. This is what is used in different villages across India. In order to treat the clarified water, air is pumped into this water so that aerobic bacteria can grow in it. Aerobic bacteria are those bacteria which require oxygen for their growth. These bacteria are grown because they will consume human waste, food waste, soap, and other unwanted matter which is still floating in the water. So, indirectly, they are helping in cleaning this water. Now, after several hours, the suspended microbes settle at the bottom of the tank as activated sludge, and the water on the top is more clear so it can be removed. So, by now, we have reached a stage where we have attained some level of purity. The activated sludge is about 97% of water, and the water is removed by sand drying baths or machine. This dried sludge, as I told you before, can be used in agriculture as manure because it is rich in organic matter and nutrients such as NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The treated water has a very low level of organic matter and suspended matter. So now it is safe and it can be discharged into different water bodies. This is further cleaned up by nature as the water in these water bodies is continuously recycled. Sometimes, if we are reusing it, then it might be necessary to add chlorine into it or ozone so that it can be released into a distribution system. Cooking oil and fats should not be thrown down the drain because they can eventually harden and block the pipes. If the pipe is blocked, then the area's water supply will get affected. In an open drain, the fats clog the soil pores, reducing the effectiveness of filtering. Therefore, we should throw oils and fats in the dustbin. Chemicals like paints, solvents, insecticides, motor oil, medicines may kill microbes that help purify water, that is aerobic bacteria that we saw just now. So we should not throw them down the drain. We should also follow some other housekeeping practices so that there is no drainage and no clogging of pipes. Use tea leaves, solid food remains, soft toys, cotton, sanitary towels, etc. should not be thrown in the drains and they should be thrown in the dustbins. These choke the drains and do not allow free flow of oxygen. So this again will not let the bacteria grow and it will hamper the sewage treatment process. We all know that sanitation is important for good health. Keeping our surrounding clean will make sure that we are all disease free. Poor sanitation and contaminated drinking water is a cause for a large number of diseases. A very large fraction of our people defecate in the open or on riverbanks, railway tracks, near fields, and many a time directly in water. This obviously causes land, water, as well as soil pollution. Both the surface water and groundwater would get polluted as a result of this. To improve sanitation, we should have low-cost on-site sewage disposal systems like septic tanks, chemical toilets, composting pits, so that sanitation and hygiene of an area is maintained and diseases can be prevented. Large amount of waste is generated in railway stations, airports, bus depots. So it is important that this waste is disposed of properly, otherwise it can cause epidemics. So we should take care about where we are throwing this waste, especially medical waste. If there is no dustbin inside, we should carry the litter home and throw it whenever we see a dustbin. Now let us summarize everything that we have learned in this chapter. We have learned that used water is wastewater and it can be reused. Sewage is a liquid waste which causes water and soil pollution. Wastewater is treated in sewage treatment plants. Byproducts of wastewater treatment are sludge and biogas which can be reused. Open drains are breeding place for flies, mosquitoes and pathogens. I hope you understood this chapter properly. Thank you.